Now that the mainline Conjuring series has ended with the, well, 4 films, franchise might be going on past this. I'm not sure what's happening with the franchise, but what I will say is, now that the franchise is seemingly over, I wanted to rank all 9 of these movies. I am not including The Coast of La Llorona, even though some people would include that film in their rankings. I am not. I don't really feel like it's a Conjuring movie, so we're not going to include it. But we are going to talk about all 9 of these films and rank them from worst to best. So, without further ado, let's get into this ranking, starting off with number 9, which is Annabelle is just not a very good movie. I did a little binge of the Conjuring series back before The Nun 2 came out in 2023, and this was the hardest movie I had to get through to have it sing its sense. I just remember this movie being very boring. We have a couple in this movie who are just unbearable, and there's a subplot with a neighbor here, and it's just stupid. It doesn't work. It's just annoying. And it just feels like they're just waving keys in front of your face the whole time. Where the Conjuring series is most known for having cheap jump scares. This movie has the most stupid jump scares in the world, while also just being low key pretty fucking boring. And it's just a chore to get through. This movie, when I do rewatch these films again, I'm not gonna probably hit this one because I just get bored watching it. I think it's a very boring movie, and not a lot happens here. When stuff does happen, it's just very cheap and just annoying, honestly. This movie's just annoying. Honestly, The Nun is about the same way as the first Annabelle movie is. This movie's also not very good. It's very cliche, and the nun herself has a cool design. What was it? Vikna, I think. She's fine here, and it's nice seeing this whole plot from back in the day, but it's just, like I said, it's very played out, it's very cliche. There's some good jump scares here and there, unlike Annabelle, where those just feel cheap. This one, there's some genuinely good parts here, and the finale looks interesting, it looks cool. It's just the rest in this movie is just not very good. The idea of a killer nun and that's like a demon, definitely a cool idea, but they do it much better in, well, The Nun 2, but especially in The Conjuring 2, where she's kind of your main threat throughout that movie. This one's fine. Our main characters are just very one note, generic. There's this gardener in this movie. He's fine. He's alright. And there's this priest, but it's a very blah movie, and it's a very blah. I'm not a fan of it. Never have been. Honestly, The Nun 2 is about a smidge better than The Nun 1. I do have a good experience with seeing this movie with a few of my friends. We had a good time with it, but besides that, The Nun 2 is a little bit better. I mean, there's this nice little relationship you got in this movie where you have these two nuns who have, there's this one that's recently become a nun, and they're trying to go on this little trip to figure out what's going on here, and that's pretty good. They bring back the gardener character from the first movie, and he's kind of the main vessel throughout this film. And there's some great sequences here, actually. There's a really good sequence of some newspapers. The ending's really fun, but it still has the same problem that the first Nun has, which is just generic. They don't do a lot with the premise here, and it's done a lot better in, well, The Conjuring 2, but it is better than the first movie, only by a smidge, because there is some pretty good sequences here. There's some good little twists and turns throughout the movie. The opening scene I do remember being pretty good, but the rest of the movie's, it's alright. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's pretty unmemorable. Next film up in this is the newest film in this franchise, and that's The Conjuring Last Rites. It's a decent finale. It really plays it safe. It really goes for just that very, it wants to make the audience happy leaving it while also telling a very effective and good story. And there's some good family drama throughout this movie. I mean, it's the last case that the Warrens did. The setting of 1986 is a really good part in this movie. And the case itself is pretty interesting, but it's your pretty much run in the mill Conjuring movie. As an ending to the franchise, like I said, it plays it safe, but I wouldn't really want them to do too much different because this is one series to where I feel like they honestly, I do not think they should continue post this movie because doing that is just gonna feel very played out. As for the ending of the mainline Conjuring films, I feel like this is a good place to end it. It's not a great finale, but it's definitely a pretty good one. It's really fits in well with the series. There's some great acting, some great shots throughout this movie. People really sleep on how well shot these films are for some reason. But yeah, as for The Conjuring Last Rites, it's a good time. Like I said, if you want to go see a little spooky movie around the Halloween season, this is definitely that. So yeah, Conjuring Last Rites. I had a pretty good time with it. Next up is The Conjuring The Devil Made Me Do It. There's a lot of people don't really like this movie. I think it's pretty good. I really like the idea of this being based on a court case. Most of this movie is based on a court case. There's some hella Exorcist vibes throughout this movie, which I love because The Exorcist is my favorite horror film. And I just think this movie is a damn good time. It feels the most summertime horror movie out of this whole entire series, but it's so much fun and it's just so good in my opinion. I think this is a good movie. Um, there's a little bit of me desired on the story side, but as for the cases, while I do like the other two films more, this is the most interesting case for me. And I know they definitely stretch the truth on quite a few things throughout this movie, but it's still really fun. And a lot of people say this movie's unmemorable or generic or boring. I think it's the opposite. I think this movie flies right by. It's a really fun time and I feel like most people sleep on it. So yeah, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. It's a pretty good movie, in my opinion. Next up is Annabelle Comes Home, and I just recently showed this movie to my brother, and yeah, this movie's still pretty fun. I mean, it's this very spooky haunted house vibe because you have a very cliche story where we have a character who gets way too intrigued with the Warren's basement while they're babysitting Ed and Lorraine's daughter, being played by McKenna Grace in this movie. And then Annabelle gets out. Annabelle influences. She does some shit, and it's just yeah. I mean, it's fun. I mean, you get to see the basement just be really cool here, like with how just insanely just you do not want to open anything down there. They have this bride character of this movie, which I thought was really good. I feel like the movie cheaps out a little bit because you think a certain character dies, but they don't. I think it would have been more effective if she just stayed dead. And same thing with another character with his boyfriend character. But it's a very good Halloween movie, if that makes sense. It feels like a good movie to throw on around the spooky season. But it's definitely, I would classify this as spooky, where I would classify the second Annabelle movie as being legitimately scary. This one's just pretty spooky, and it's a good time. It's not taking itself pretty seriously, but it's still really fun in my opinion. Speaking of Annabelle, Annabelle creation, this movie. It's pretty fucking creepy in some parts. It's everything that the what was it? The first film should have been. Where the first film was stupid and cliche and boring. This movie is the opposite. You have a very good story throughout this movie, very interesting characters, very fun characters to watch throughout this film. It's definitely the most scary out of the Annabelle movies. And the majority of the movies on this list, like this movie genuinely gets creepy at points, has a very creepy ending as well. I feel like they were trying to do something a lot more. They were trying to push the series forward with this movie. Whenever post this movie came out, the series just wanted to stay in that very spooky, safe zone when this was actually trying to really be a damn good horror film. In my opinion, it is. It has its flaws here and there. It's a bit too long in places, but there's some really good acting in this movie, especially by the child actors. And I just think this movie's pretty good. It's everything that I wish the first Annabelle movie was. Next up is the film that started it all, The Conjuring. And while I do not feel like the case that the Warrens have in this movie is the most interesting, the family's really fun to watch here. It's a really good family to be stuck with throughout most of this movie. And it is creepy as hell. You can tell why this series got picked up as much as it did. Because this movie is very creepy. And you're pretty much caught in one possession throughout the entire film. With this house, but also with the mother character who has been possessed. And her possession, like I said, is extremely creepy throughout this movie. It is damn insane how this could have been, this was most likely real. And as the film that started off this whole series, it captivated audience for a reason because it is creepy and it is scary and it is as just weird as you wanted it to be. It doesn't rely on jump scares much. There's a really good sequence to the movie with blindfolding, and the ending scene is pretty much around, in my opinion, the first Exorcist with intensity, not with character work, but with intensity. It's a very good ending to this movie, but it's also a very good start to this series in general. You get to introduce some very good characters throughout this movie, and Lorraine Warren are very good people to follow, or very good protagonists here. People in real life may not have been great, but damn it, the people who play these characters are really good. So yeah, the first Conjuring, I think it's pretty good. And in first place is The Conjuring 2, and this movie is pretty good. This isn't really scary to me. I feel like this is the most solid out of this series. Like all the other movies, I can kind of find some flaws with. This one just is so consistently good, and that's because James Wan, he directed the first one, but he really goes for it with the second one, and it shows here. You really get to go into some of the lore in this movie. You get to see the nun, the Cricket Man, who I really wish got a movie instead of Annabelle, to be honest. At least the first one. And the rest of this movie, it's just creepy, but also it's kind of endearing because you really get to grow with this family. You really get to see who they are as characters. And the fact that it's a child possession is just very interesting here. Not that that hasn't been done before. I mean, it was done in The Exorcist, but it's still really good in this movie. And what I love about this one is it is not afraid to be a little sincere in parts. I love the scene where we have Patrick Wilson just singing Elvis Presley, and that's a very good scene to have in this movie. It's very tense, it's very insanely creepy in some moments, but it's also the most solid, and it's definitely, in my opinion, the best film in the Conjuring universe. So, how would you rank the Conjuring films from worst to best? What's your favorite movie? What's your least favorite movie? What did you think of The Conjuring Last Rites? And would you like to see more films in this franchise? I mean, I'm still up in the air about it. I'm leaning on that I wouldn't, only because I feel like the ending that The Conjuring Last Rites gave us was pretty good. So I would say, yeah, if you guys like this series, let me know in the comments below as well. And with all that being said, I will see you next time. Take care.